Well, good morning, boys and girls. It's me, old Pa Stump. So I'm just over at the shop here. Sunday morning. I'm gonna attempt to rewire my Jake in the auto car. The little oil switch on the back of the fuel pump went bad a long time ago, and I just had the Jake hot wired. You know, so I gotta run that and put the new switch on the back of the pump, that oil switch, and then you run a wire. The wire's in there. I just gotta interrupt it because it just goes from the switch out to the heads. So I gotta put the wire back into the fuel interrupter switch and the clutch switch, and then out to the oil switch. Whatever. I gotta make that loop. And get that function, and that thing should be ready to go. I'm gonna wheel it out and give it a bath, and might try and do something with some of these lines that are all hanging around on it, but it's not the end of the world. But that loader's ancient. I mean, we fixed it up. It works pretty good though, so whatever. Someday I might like to build some new bunks and maybe find a newer loader to put on it, but for now I'm not worried about it. It works. Like I say, I don't use it all that often. I use it more just to forward stuff on jobs. Just to bring it out to where you could load a trailer or whatever. I use it as much that way as I do for going down the road. But it is very road legal. It's got all new brakes on it, new drums, did all the S-cam bushing kits in it, and new front brakes. Spent a lot of money on it. I mean, it's actually, the thing goes down the road nice. Now it'll run anyway, so. But anyway, I wanted to do a little vid for my buddy Pete, old retired welder. He's on our channel a lot. And every time he sees this old truck in a vid, he gets all twittipated, But this truck, I've had this truck for a long time. I don't know how long, probably 10 or 12 years. I bought it. It had a flatbed on it. Actually, it had this body on it. It had this flatbed on it. That's what it had on it. And this truck had a utility body. It was all rotten to crap. So we took it off, and I wanted to make this into a dump truck. So I found this dump body. I think I got this dump body and hoist in the PTO for like $2,500. And I probably did this. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago. I put this thing together, the body on it. Since then, I put all new tires on it, all new brakes on it, rebuilt the front end, rebuilt the knuckles. It runs like a top. It's got the old school 12 valve Cummins in it, but you can see it's been sitting around. It's all covered with mold and pollen, and it needs cowboy patch this side of the floor up. It needs a patch on that side, you can see, but it's no big deal. But this truck is nice. I love this truck. So we actually think, Davey and I were talking about it, we were actually thinking about putting it back on the road, because it hasn't been registered for years. I just, like I said, look at the mold on it. It actually cleans up pretty nice. It's just dirt from sitting around. But yeah, we were actually thinking about it. Oh, I don't know. But this is a good truck. Pete always says, do a video on it, do a video on it. I guess he had a nice one. He said he had a black one, a 91 first gen. This is a 92. And it's original. It don't have that many miles on it. I can't remember. Look here. This truck goes nice. These transmissions weren't the best. See, its shifter's got a lot of play in it, but it might be just a dampener or something in there. I don't even know. But yeah, this truck runs good. The battery's dead. something in it. It's something in it that there's something that you got to disconnect the batteries. The guy never do it. The guys don't do it, and it I don't know what's hot. Something's hot somewhere. If you let it set for a while, it'll drain the batteries. Yeah, I got to put a floor pan over there. This side's pretty good. We patched this up a couple years ago. Put new rocker panels on it. Cab's actually pretty good on it. Other than that, that's easy to fix. But the headliner fell down, but I don't care about that. But yeah, this is a good little truck. I should fire it up, but I thought it would fire up, Pete. Oh, I'll put a charge on it. I'll put you on hold for a minute. All right, so I got the charger hooked up to it. Had it on for a couple of minutes. Oh, let's see if it's got enough to fire. Yeah, so I was going to, before I got on my wild rabbit trail there, I was going to show you what it had for mileage. It's got 183,030 miles. 183,303 miles. So it don't have a lot of miles on it as diesel standards go. And she's still needs a little more charge, but she fires right up. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad because, you know, I'd have one of these little simple 12 valve Cummins and everything I owned, you know. Hell, I'd have one in the washing machine in the house. Because they're just good, simple engines, you know. But now the newer ones, I don't even want them. I would never buy another truck, like a new truck with a diesel in it. No way. Too complicated, too expensive, too many things to go wrong, and when they go wrong, it's cost you an arm and a leg. These were economical. These things got 22 miles per gallon, you know, and simple. You could fix them, you know. The newer ones, even now, that's like an 07, and it's got all kinds of stupid sensors and emission crap on it. I'm not even interested in it anymore. Because I like my old 2005 GMC over there that I run every day. It's a gas motor, but nothing ever goes wrong with it. I mean, it just runs, you know. While the radiator stuff, but that's wear item stuff. But I mean, just, you know. But I'll show you a few ideas I had here. But yeah, this is a nice truck. That's a nice running little truck. That didn't require a computer, that just required my fingers to make that go. Or my foot from inside the cab, see? Real simple. Not a real big deal. Why we had to screw that all up, I'm not sure. But we did. Yeah. There she is, Pete. She runs like a little top. I really do love this little truck. Alright, I don't need this on here no more. Kind of glad I did do this, like I said, though, because you get a couple of cold nights, and if your batteries aren't charged, you end up, they'll freeze, and then you ruin your battery. It warps the plates in them, and all that happy manure. So there's even a story behind this battery charger. If you noticed, Napa came back out with a battery charger without a computer in it, because the ones they were selling, everybody went to this new computerized battery chargers, and they're junk too. I've had about 47 of them in the last year. The last one of them I bought, I think was like 20 years ago, 15, 18 years ago, and it finally crapped the bed, you know, the analog type, the old school, and it was like 150 bucks. So I bought another one now, and the computerized ones are like $400, and literally I've had, in the last 2 years, I think 3 of them, and none of them work. Yeah, I can't even figure out how to make them work, but the other guys figure them out, but they don't last. So I'm not impressed with the computerized crap. Just not. Ain't that a little sweetheart? So I figured I'd make that bid for Pete. I thought he'd like that. I'm gonna let it run for a minute. I'll show you how that body on that truck's junk. I gotta do, this truck ain't got a lot of miles on it either, and it does run good. It's a Duramax, but it's got a bad transmission leak. We think it's a torque converter seal. So we gotta pull that out and fix it. Just can't run it like that. So here's, I think I made a video of this body when I bought it, probably 5 years ago. You just run out of money for these projects. With things as tight as they've been, they just ain't had no extra money to do nothing. But that body was never mounted on anything. It was brand new. Guy found it in a barn, and he had it on, look at that. That's all original inside. So we were thinking about putting this on that Dodge, or the white Dodge, but that flatbed works. But we were just talking about maybe putting it on that little red dually and selling the dump. I never use it, you know. But here's a project I wanted to do. This truck, the motor in it, that junk Ford, that Power Stroke piece of crap, it's out here, so it blew up anyway, but they're a terrible piece of junk. But this truck, my plans were, why I never got rid of it. See, this wasn't even rusty or nothing when I parked it here. Look at that, what a shame. But that's still pretty easy to fix. The rest of the cab's solid on it. And this was a good truck. And what I was going to do with this truck, you know, big plans. But this thing's got a straight axle. It's a Super Duty 450. Straight axle. You know, it's real heavy. And I have a 12 valve Cummins right there that still runs, and I was going to put the 12 valve Cummins in this, and I wanted to find an Allison automatic to go with it, and I did find one, and I'll show you that too. Alright, well, I was trying to get this thing to pause, but I think I hit the wrong button. So we'll let little sweetie pie run for a few minutes. I'm going to pull a negative cable off it so it don't drain my battery. When Marv was working here, he did something to the charging system. It wouldn't charge properly or something. I think whatever he did, it might feed back, so I can't remember. Something makes it, like if you hook up the battery, you'll get a little zap, like something's drawing off it all the time. And if you don't disconnect the battery, I need to put a master switch on it, but whatever. But it'll draw the battery down. A couple of days will flatten it. So I'll let it run for a few minutes, and I'll pull that battery terminal off it. But anyway, back to the Cummins and an Allison. That's why I bought this thing. I got this thing off of Ryan for just a couple $100. It's, you know, supposedly it don't run. And it was an old FedEx truck. But This thing has the Cummins in it. This has the 6.7 Cummins. Alright? And it's a common rail and all that, but still, you know, I would bet you that would still run. It's probably got a bad fuel pump or something. But I don't care. I bought it so I could, you know, steal ideas. But this has an Allison in it. This has the Allison transmission in it. So I've got the Cummins and the Allison. Now this is not four-wheel drive, so you'd have to get a you'd have to take tail shaft off transmission, but I think you can do all that. I think it's a Allison 1000, I think they told me. But you can do that, and then you can put a transfer case on it. So you could run your, or, you know, a divorce case where you have to put a shaft in. One or the other, you could do it. It could be done. But this has the Cummins and the Allison transmission. So I only paid a couple $100 for this thing. And I did that just so I could see what they did, you know, in mounting that Allison to the I think it's too cold for bees, but and look at it and see what the Allison looks like mounted to this Cummins engine. So again, that's why I did that. But you can see you'd have to put a transfer case on it, or just a short shaft and what they call a divorce case. But that, to me, if you put this in that Ford Super Duty, and it would be worth doing because it wouldn't be that much to clean that Ford up, put rockers on it. But my idea is, again, I'd have a, you know, a truck that would cost you $75,000 to go buy new, and you know, with maybe a couple weeks worth of shop time, clean it up and paint the frame and everything, and have a nice. My thing is I don't have time, and whatever. Maybe sometime get my ducks in a row. But I'd like to do that. I think that would be a nice truck. And you know, if you could get 10 years out of it, heck, that's cheap transportation. You ain't gotta go borrow a small fortune to buy a $70,000 or $80,000 pickup, you know. It makes me ill to think of paying that much for a pickup truck. It's gonna look like that one in, you know, a few months. You know what I mean? It's just, I can't, it's just the worst investment, the worst thing to ever do to your money. They're just not worth it, you know. And the nature of my business, you just, you know, you're ruining it. You know, I mean, not even intentionally. You just ruin them. Sorry, I know I'm not very good with this camera, but yeah, that battery must be getting crummy. But maybe that battery's already junk. I don't know. I'm gonna take the ground off it. There. All right, that one was for you. But yeah, that's a nice little truck. But anyway, my point being that, you know, these old trucks are gold to me because I ain't buying an $80,000 pickup truck. And you know, I mean, 80 grand, you can buy a beautiful skidder, or, you know, I'm trying to get 75,000 out of that big frickin' 2054 loader with a grapple saw and everything. You know what I mean? Look at the thing. You can go out and make money with it. And here they want, you know, with a diesel pickup, with a four-door diesel pickup, they want 75, 80 grand for them. That's sick. Demented. I'm not paying. I'm not doing it. I mean, you know, you look at that truck now. The bottom door is starting to rust, but the underneath of that cab, excuse me, there's no rust on that. I don't know why. It almost looks like it's galvanized. But that truck, I paid $5,500 for it, and in May, 1st of May, it'll be 5 years. I've had that truck for 4.5 years. I just put a transfer case in it. I put a radiator in it. That's the second radiator, but that was my fault for that last one. It just it broke. It hit the shroud was touching, and it broke it and poked holes in the radiator. So yeah, that wasn't a wear out situation. But I did put a radiator in it once. But I have, let's see, I put a transmission in it. That was like $2,400. Transfer case was $1,200. What else? I'm trying to think of what else I did to it.